for the Bodie Show. Living on the water is the only life we know. Yo, ho, ho, ho. It's time for the Bodie Show.
You've been promoted.
Yay.
Formerly hot admin.
What am I now?
The vice president of advertising. You're an advertising executive.
Okay.
You are no longer the hot admin. Well, you're still the hot admin. You'll always be the hot admin. We got a good show today. I'm super excited. Are you?
As am I.
Yeah. We're going to recap some stuff from last week. We're going to talk about a new game that was invented by a listener.
Very excited about that. I can't wait to hear.
And then...
What? Oh, no, don't even say it.
Don't even say it?
Skip over that.
Okay. And then we're going to talk about where we are. We're not going to lead with that.
Right.
We're going to wait for that.
Right.
And then after that, we're going to do another thing that we're not going to talk about right now.
So everybody is just on the edge of their seats.
Yeah. The edge of their pilot seats.
Ooh.
Yeah. And then we're going to do a boat of the week. And maybe
Awesome.
maybe something will happen after that. We got 2 interesting submissions for boat of the week.
Excellent.
All right. So let's start off with a little recap. Last week, you and I, a Superfund expert who prefers to remain anonymous, and I.
Correct. I have a few things to say about what that expert said.
Yeah, we sat down and we had a conversation about clean water. So recreational boating, any kind of boating, even if it's professional boating, is better when the water is clean. And I thought of a story from my past that I'm going to tell.
Different than the one you told last week?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Related to this. And I think that, as we reflected on the Clean Water Act and this week, and like I got an email from a listener, Jeremy. He'd gotten a newsletter with a whole write-up on the Clean Water Act, the Clean Drinking Water Act, and a bunch of other stuff, the history of all of this, which was really interesting. And
the expert was slightly off on the dates that EPA was established, but that's okay. But basically, it was Richard Nixon. It was in the 70s.
Yeah.
So,
anyway,
pretty much that expert.
We're basically sitting here in the middle of the 50th anniversary of the Clean Water Act passed more than 50 years ago, 72. Or the major amendments to it, to the 1948 law. But like it really didn't get rolling until, 73, 74, 75. I heard from a listener, Christy from Round Island on the St. Lawrence, that her dad and her uncle were the first 2 people to install septic tanks on Round Island. She fully remembers the August flu. Like she used to get, the GI blowout after everybody was flushing their sewer pickles into the river. And Round Island's upriver from a lot, right?
Yeah.
But apparently downriver from enough for the sewer pickles to go floating by and give poor Christy the August flu. Yeah. So yeah, like we're in a moment right now. This 50th anniversary thing's kind of a big deal. I'm excited about it, and we might dig into this a little bit more.
Water is a lot cleaner, as we said last week.
Yeah, water's a lot cleaner.
It was said last week.
As it was said by that expert and me last week.
Right.
Okay. So you wanted to you basically have some, and another thing or some corrections that you wanted to go over?
A couple additional things that I thought folks might find interesting. So we were talking about Superfund site cleanups and how we find the EPA finds who's responsible and then makes them pay. And if they don't want to pay, if they say it wasn't me, then EPA will do it and charge them 3 times the amount. You were like, wow, they charged them 3 times the amount. And then I listened to last week's show and I recall that is known as treble damages. Treble damages.
One for the treble, one for the bass.
Are really freaking afraid of because God knows what the government is going to spend to clean that up. And then you're going to have to pay 3 times.
Are you going to threaten me with treble damages at this point in our relationship?
Maybe at some point.
Like, what would I have to do?
You've already had your treble damages.
I have. What did I do that required treble damages?
I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
Oh, what would I have to do for there to be treble damages?
I'll come up with something.
All right, you think about that. Maybe we'll close out on that.
Okay.
You'll be on the hot seat at the end of the show. Anything else?
Yes, there was something else that I wanted to add. We were talking a fair bit about petroleum contaminants, petroleum-based contaminants. We're talking about PAHs.
What's a PAH?
Polyaromatic hydrocarbons.
Polycyclic
aromatic hydrocarbons, as it related to the Gowanus Canal. But
like benzene.
Well, benzene is one of the BTEX compounds. So that's
what's
like,
BTEX?
It's a set of compounds known as BTEX that are related to petroleum. So it's benzene,
toluene.
No, toluene. I just had it. Benzene.
Steph, who is unfortunately not able to join us,
Our chemist.
is our chemist. She knows all this stuff cold.
Yeah. Benzene, toluene. Shit. Anyway.
Those are the big ones. I mean, all the others are just like rounding errors.
Well, what I wanted to say was the Superfund law has something known as the petroleum exclusion. So there is a list of hazardous substances that are regulated under Superfund and a couple of other EPA laws like RCRA, which is the Resource Conservation and Recovery Act, the Clean Water Act, the Clean Air Act, things like that. There's a list of hazardous substances, and they're very specific. Petroleum-based compounds are not considered under CERCLA as part of the hazardous list. That does not mean in any way, shape, or form that they're not hazardous. The story is that Congress was of the mind that oil spills, which would have all of these contaminants, were already being addressed under the Clean Water Act, and they didn't want to muddy the water, so to speak.
They didn't want to spread oil on the stormy seas.
And make them also hazardous under CERCLA, and then oil spills could potentially be like Superfund cleanup sites. Like none of the big oil spills are Superfund sites, right?
So the Exxon Valdez wasn't.
The big BP explosion, underwater debacle.
Deepwater Horizon.
Yep.
Like bajillion barrels of oil just into the Gulf of Mexico.
That was not a hazardous waste site, a Superfund site. So anyway, that's one explanation. Like the pessimistic view could be that the oil lobby got to Congress and kept those chemicals out. Now, if there is a toxic waste site that has a whole slew of chemicals that are on the list that may also include petroleum-based contaminants, then that can be on a Superfund site. Like I worked on plenty of Superfund sites that included PAHs, but if it was just PAHs or just BTEX compounds and PAHs, then no.
Who cleaned that up?
Presumably, that would be cleaned up under the Clean Water Act.
But Clean Water Act has provisions for remediation of past.
I don't know.
Bad stuff.
I don't know.
Huh.
I always worked, on Superfund, not on Clean Water Act.
So like some big tank farm where they leaked all kinds of petroleum products into the groundwater, like over decades.
Yeah.
Operated by an oil company or a refiner, that sort of thing. Who's cleaning up all of those oils that are oil exclusions?
You're gonna love this.
Yeah.
Well, the oil exclusion is only CERCLA, so it's only Superfund.
Okay.
Right. But the law that manages that is called LUST.
Yeah, it is.
Leaking underground storage tanks.
You can't make that up.
No, you can't.
So there's a
LUST program.
Is there an EPA? Is that an EPA?
Yeah, people deal with leaking underground storage tanks. Sure.
Why the hell haven't you gotten a job
in the LUST program?
Yeah,
because it's boring.
What?
Well, it's got a good name. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, just like do it for a couple years, just so you get like Lust Enforcer of the Year instead of Superfund Cost Recovery Enforcer of the Year, which is fine. It's great. Enforcer of the Year is wonderful.
Right.
But like, if you were like Enforcer of the Year for the Lust program, if you had like maybe some T-shirts that said Lust on them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. The dogs are in and out of our current studio. So that you may hear them.
Hear some dog noises.
Some like pit bull moaning or some Chihuahua hound like whack job barking. So bear with us, please. So I can't believe that we've been together this long.
And you didn't know there was a LUST program?
Knowing, yeah. And it's all about like oils.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's some good entendre.
The only other thing that I wanted to say was that your expert was talking about how sensitive the Exxon executives were related to...
Yeah, like when you made a joke about spilling your coffee and said, whoa, I spilled my coffee. At least it's not as bad as that Valdez.
Correct. Related to the Exxon Valdez. Well, after last week's show, I looked up when the Exxon Valdez happened, and it was 1989. And this was in the early 90s that I was working on this project. So
where was the project? West Virginia?
That was West Virginia.
Okay, cool. I found a book about clean water in Appalachia at the library, and I'm going to check it out and read about it. So we might, excuse me, hope that didn't come over the mic. We might keep talking about clean water.
Might be doing more editing than you thought.
I guess not. I should mention that we are enjoying together a fine India Pale Ale from.
It's my favorite pale ale. It's the 60-minute IPA.
Yeah, from Dogfish Head, which is Bodie. Like, oh, geez, look at the label. There's an anchor there's a fouled anchor.
And the Dogfish dog.
Yeah, well, yeah.
The Dogfish fish.
Right, but there's a fouled anchor, which is a thing. Like a fouled anchor as a tattoo is a thing.
Yeah.
It's fouled meaning it has a rope wrapped all around it, and then a life. No, it looks like a life ring in the middle, but it's not. It's a stopwatch that's like on top of the anchor that says 60 minutes, and there's some hop flowers about. I never really looked at that. I was usually too busy drinking it. Here, let's cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, that's nice. All right, Lost. Oh, let's come back. So are you done with your recap?
I am.
All right. I'm going to tell a follow-up story. So it's always good to think about clean water, environmental regulations and cleanups and all this stuff, clean air in like personal context. So I, as a kid, grew up sailing on the Chesapeake Bay. My parents would charter rent sailboats, and we'd go down there and we go out for a long weekend. We go out for a week, and then for a stretch of time, we went out for 2 weeks straight. And that's when like I'd get off the boat at the end of the 2 weeks and the land was moving underneath me.
Right.
Yeah. And
there's a term for that.
Yeah, there is. And I think we talked about it on a show, but I can't remember.
Your mom would know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Thanks. There's a term for that.
But I don't know what it is.
Oh, excuse me. 60-minute. I'm just going to leave that in. Hey, it's December. We have anyway. So I was when I was a kid. The toilet on a sailboat or on a boat is called a head, and typically these old boats you would hand pump it. So you'd hand pump water into the bowl, and that same hand pumping would pump the water and your sewer pickle out of the bowl, right? So back in the day, like you just pumped it overboard in the Chesapeake, just bloop. Poop. This is in the 80s, right? So poop went overboard. Your sewer pickle just went out the hatch. And this is all kind of like weird and fascinating for a boy who, as you may be able to tell, has a fixation on poop humor. And so like, taking a dump and then running up on deck and looking over the side to see if your sewer pickle was floating there was a thing.
Oh my God.
But this is not the story.
Maybe not so much with the sewer pickle.
This is not
stop calling it that.
Such a good one.
Maybe there's something else.
Sometimes it's sewer relish.
Oh. Oh no.
After a rough night with 60-minute IPAs.
Jesus.
But the point is not that
there's a point?
Yeah, that is not that I ran up on deck. It's that like there's 2 points. Well, there's an intermediate point that I'm going to get to next. So one time there were, God knows how, like a reasonably low number of jellyfish that'll sting you in the water in the Chesapeake. And so I'm swimming around the boat. Love to swim. And
hate jellyfish. Love to swim.
Hate jellyfish. Love to swim. And I'm swimming around the boat and it's great. And I hear the sound of the head pumping. No, like.
Oh yeah.
From inside the sailboat, and I'm like,
no.
Oh no, where am I? Turns out I was right next to the outlet from the head, and my dad's sewer pickle popped up right in front of me, and I screamed and like rapidly backstroked away.
Oh,
that happened.
You wanted to share this? Why?
Because it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
So, but the point of all this is that...
Yes, do tell.
I don't think it was a Clean Water Act. I don't think it was a federal reg. I think it was a state reg that said, hey, no more pumping straight overboard. You got to have a holding tank.
I do not know the answer to that. I would share with you.
I think it was Maryland was like, nope. And so maybe you could go different places. But I do know that like when you go into Canada on your boat, you have to actually prove that you've disconnected the overboard discharge. Like you got to have like, if they could come aboard and they'd be like, yeah, you still have that hooked up. You got to unhook that up because they don't.
That's right. Canadians are like, don't bring your poop over here.
Yeah, they don't
like flush it out.
They don't have sewer pickles up there. Maybe.
Sure they do, but we don't have to talk about them.
Maple.
They don't talk about them because they're Canadian and they're polite.
All I got is maple. You married me, and I'm just trying to figure out what that line of treble damages is. Like if I keep talking about sewer pickles, do I get treble damages? Okay.
Sounds like you want treble damages.
I don't know. Like from the Lust Enforcer of the Year, perhaps I do. I guess it's getting a little too like, okay. People are like, hey, can Steph come back? Where it's like you keep it relatively like low key on this bullshit.
Do you though?
Huh? Well, like I'm not flirting with her about Lust treble damages.
No, that's true.
She's like all but like the last 2 years of the 20 years that we've known her, she has not been a dirty birdie. But somehow in the last 2 years, like everything's a double entendre.
Hey, we can't talk about Steph when she's not here.
That's a good point. All right. I'm not going to edit that out, but we'll try and stop talking about Steph when she's not here.
You're talking about her. I'm not talking about her.
All right. Moving on from the state law against overboard discharge of sewer pickles.
Okay.
We have, speaking of, our first drinking game that's been recommended. No, not yet. So we had our first drinking game recommended by listener Christy from Boston.
Good job, Christy. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be amazing.
She said you got to take a sip every time I say sewer pickle.
No, she did not.
She did.
No, she did not.
Yeah. After listening to last week's
Christy,
episode.
Nobody's going to be drinking because I don't think you should say it. I don't know. Christy, I appreciate that.
I just think an engaged audience is a lot of fun. And when your audience is like, hey, I think you should have a drinking game where like if you say sewer pickle, people have to drink. Not that I'm a big fan of drinking games, but you know, I am when they involve like me saying sewer pickle. Have a sip. Okay, enough of that. So now because you've been promoted from hot admin to vice president of advertising, and you are the Bodie Show advertising executive.
That's right.
You, my friend, are going to read our first advertisement from a paid advertiser.
Paid advertisement.
Yeah, we're in business, people. This is exciting. Hey, shush. Shut your trap. Moni. No. Bah. Go away. Go away. Oh.
Are you going to be able to like tune that out?
I can't. Yeah. I'll tune it out while you read.
No, I mean, when you edit, are you going to be able to take that out?
I'm going to leave it in.
All right. She's a pain in the ass. That's our dog, Lilo.
Yeah.
She's become more of a pain in the ass lately. Mm-hmm. She's very needy.
So who are we going to hear from?
Today, we have, as you just said, our first paid ad, and I'm just going to go for it. Here we go.
Yep.
Hello, Bodie Show fans. Who needs to spruce up their Jersey Shore house? Anyone? Anyone? Call Distinctive Decorating for your painting needs. For fast, efficient service to get that painting done before beach season. Call Distinctive Decorating today at 609-231-9152.
You should read the phone number again.
The phone number again is 609-231-9152.
All right. That was awesome. Thank you very much.
Beep, beep.
Did you... Wait.
What?
Maybe even...
Nice.
Yeah, it's exciting. Now we're going to be able to like cover the cost of hosting the podcast on the Libsyn.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Or we'll just keep eating the cost. It doesn't matter.
It's so much fun. It is so much fun. This is not something that we're doing for money, clearly.
No.
Interestingly, the advertiser, Distinctive Decorating, is also a whaler enthusiast.
Yes, he is.
Keith. Yep. And I want to start off by saying, Keith, that I was wrong. I was wrong about whalers.
Oh.
So for many, many episodes, I harshed on whalers, and it was inappropriate. It was basically throwing just like spite in the face of people who love these little boats. Mm-hmm. And go away!
I'll get her out.
No, I'll leave her. It's fine. She left. No, go away. Go away.
Go.
Stop moaning.
Go.
Go moan somewhere else. No. Go away. This is
we should have just closed the door.
We're clearly not in this for the money. We should have closed the door. They would be out barking outside. Close the door to what, Missy?
Oh, to the room that we are currently in.
Yeah, which is what?
A garage.
Yeah.
Your garage.
It's my garage.
It's your garage.
It's my happy place. And we are in the garage, not just in the garage, but we are in a Boston Whaler 13.
In the garage.
In the garage.
We're sitting in the garage. I'm at the helm.
You are.
I'm at the helm.
You got right hand on the throttle.
Yeah.
Put a hand on the wheel.
I can't hold the...
There you go. You can do it.
I couldn't hold the microphone and put my hand on the throttle and on the wheel. That's what I was trying to do.
No, that's true. Okay.
Okay.
And we're in the Whaler that we picked up in New Rochelle. And
Yeah, a few weeks back.
We pushed it into the garage, and I'm happy to report that on Saturday I went and splashed it in this Kukul River and took it for a test drive.
You did.
Yeah, and
You did. That was so cool.
It was cold. It was like 20 something degrees.
It was really cold.
But it was my favorite temperature, 25 and no wind with strong sun.
It was cold enough to wear your Iceland sweater.
Yeah, which is too hot to wear almost any other time. So we
I didn't go. I had other stuff going on, but you went out with some friends.
Yep, we cruised it up and down the upper Schuylkill between the Flat Rock Dam and we didn't go all the way up to Conshohocken, but we launched it at Flat Rock Park. There's a boat ramp there. The dock was still in, which is exciting. And we went down to the Flat Rock Dam and beached and checked out the new water inlet to the Manayunk Canal, because the Manayunk Canal is going to flow again. Oh yeah, that's right.
What?
Yep. And we'll talk more about that at a future episode, because there's a tie-in with the Clean Water Act to that. But as I drove around in the 13-foot Whaler, I was like, man, this is a great little boat. And I have to say, Keith.
Eating crow, are you, Jeff?
Keith, I'm going to have a crow sandwich and toast you, because you were always right about the Whalers and I was always wrong. So Matt, Jen, everybody that was had to listen to me be just a kind of a downer about Whalers. I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry. These are awesome little boats.
I think they will accept your apology. And just to the listeners out there, send Keith some good vibes. He's going in for his knee surgery this week.
Yep. Good vibes.
Long awaited.
Good vibes. Keith and I have pet names for each other. Should we go into those?
I don't think so. People won't think it's funny.
It doesn't have anything to do with Sewer Pickle.
Nor does it have anything to do with the Bodie Show.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay. But I've had some really good times with Keith and his 13-foot Whaler, cruising around the back bays behind...
It's called Bunny.
It's called Bunny, yep. Cruising around the back bays behind Sea Isle and Avalon. We go clamming, we go crabbing, we go fishing, which I'm not as much into, but I love clamming and crabbing.
Yes,
pulling pots and like getting my toes in the mud and scraping up clams out of it and then taking them home. And
he crabs with the pots. I like the line crabbing myself, because that's what I did growing up.
Yeah, where you tie a piece of chicken on the end of a string with a weight and you drop it down.
No.
What?
No.
What do you do?
The bait was always like a bunker fish.
Okay.
My dad would go to the bait store and get like trash fish. He called them bunkers. I don't even know what they are. And then he'd like take his knife and put a hole right through the middle of it and like tie a string around the bones with a little weight.
Yep.
And then we'd toss it in and drag it along the bottom, and the crabs would go peep, peep, peep. You can't see what I'm doing, but they would like pick at it and you could feel it on the string, and we'd pull it over, and then my dad would put it in the net.
So you gently pull the string up, and the crab would hold on to it because they're greedy.
It would follow.
Hungry and follow, yeah.
Yeah, it would follow it. And then you'd pull it up in the water.
Yep.
And it would swim up, swim up, swim up, and then my dad would
scoop it in the net.
Get it in the net. That's so much more fun.
It is a lot of fun. I did that in the Chesapeake also. We did it with, I don't think it was going to be a good idea to have like stanky trash fish in the icebox on the sailboat. So
probably a bad idea.
We had some chicken necks and would tie a string around those, and we'd drop it down on the bottom, and then you wait until you felt that boop, boop, boop. This like the little like peckety peck that the crabs would do. And then you'd pull it gently up, slowly, slowly, slowly. So the crabs would keep eating because they're greedy little buggers. Yeah. And then before they got like all the way to the surface, you'd see that they were there, and you'd scoop them with a net. And we only ate them every once in a while, but like there was.
But you were in the Chesapeake, so I mean, they were probably good blue claws down there.
Oh yeah, they were great. They were great.
Mean, it was we got lesser quality in the Jersey Shore back bays.
Well, especially during like the 70s and early 80s and the shellfish bans which we've covered.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, we would we wouldn't really eat them very often. I don't think my parents were up for like, eating crabs on a sailboat.
They don't seem to be much into crab picking anyway.
No, they're not. But
I don't think I've ever picked crabs.
But I would definitely enjoy like some crab races on the deck and
yeah, that's fun.
Yeah.
And would you like scare your sister with it?
No, she wasn't. We were doing it together, and they would be like running around the deck, and we'd both be like, "Oh, geez!" And I definitely got a couple of crab pinches all the way through like a big toe, and definitely got some crab pinches all the way through. Like I remember one went.
That's no joke.
Went through my thumbnail.
That hurts so badly.
Yeah,
it hurts so bad.
But I learned over time how to pick them up safely, so they couldn't get me.
Imagine Dawn and I like crabbing with Dad, and like one of the crabs gets out of the buckets, and Dawn and I are like, ah! Ah!
You're like that now.
And my dad's just like, pipe down.
Yeah,
I got it.
Yeah, that was the right response. So I want to say that I'm sorry to all the Whaler fans that I was harshing on Whalers, because cruising around in the Schuylkill in this little 13, I was like, man, this is a sweet little skiff, and there's something to it. It's a little boat.
What's it got on it? What's the motor? What's the horsepower on it?
I've been meaning to look because I haven't looked. Let me look.
We've had this thing for weeks. You don't know what the horsepower is?
Nah.
All right, Jeff's going to look. I don't know that it's actually.
Describe the Whaler. What do you like about the 13?
Ooh, Jeff, watch the wire. Well, sitting in here, it reminds me of our Whaler, which was not 13 feet. It was a little bit longer, but the shape is the same. The seats aren't the same, but like it's got a feel to it that is a little nostalgic, right?
Yeah.
Like and I'm not like a diehard like old timey like Whaler fan, but I did enjoy the SK when we had her, and I learned to drive in that boat, so she will always have a special place in my heart. And I beat the crap out of her when I learned how to dock, which I'm still not awesome at.
Full contact docking.
Full contact docking, yeah.
In order to learn where the dock is, sometimes one must ram it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what you decided your docking method would be.
Yeah.
That is a Honda 30 4-stroke.
Okay.
It's carbureted.
30. That's a lot for a 13, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was enough, but it wasn't too much when we were out there.
Okay.
And it does have a pretty beat up prop with like one of the blades is.
Well, that's easily fixable.
Yeah,
Switch out the prop.
One of the blades is turned up, and I think it might be a little. I think it might be a little over pitched for what it is, which means that like the propeller, the angle of the blades is assuming that this thing's going to be going a lot faster than it actually is, because it was kind of a dog getting up and going. It was me and two other big boys, boys, in the boat. Yeah, so this is cool. It's a cool little boat. I still haven't. So
I like it. I'm enjoying being in it. I've been enjoying like looking out the windows of our house and seeing it outside, like, oh hey, there's a boat.
Yeah, because SK was in roughly the same spot for a long time. Like over the winters when I was working on it. Yeah. So we're gonna figure out what's next with this boat.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how
that's the Whaler.
Are you gonna spruce up this wood situation?
Yeah. Okay. First I'm gonna rewire the whole thing, because the wiring works, but it's a rat's nest.
What's this?
That's a charger. That's good.
Oh, that's just sitting there. That's not attached to anything.
Yeah, it was plugged into the battery, but it's got the like the guy that had this boat that's the running light mount.
Oh.
The guy that had this boat
looks a whole lot more substantial than some other running light mounts that I've seen. Like, that's not gonna fall out. That's like brass. Yeah.
No, that's the hardware on these things is bomb proof. It was
Steph, you wouldn't have to worry about losing your stern light over and over, because it's really cool.
The guy that had this boat was using it appropriately, which was like he'd get in it and go, and so the wiring worked, but like it was entirely about function and not necessarily being clean. So there's some old connections here and there. There's some like wires that don't go anywhere.
It doesn't look like that much of a rat's nest.
No.
It's just be able to fix that up.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's such a simple wiring job, because there's a circuit for the lights, there's a circuit for that's about it, the bilge pump, and so cleaning it up so that you know what you got, in the places where it's been cut and spliced, are no longer because there are straight runs. It doesn't have a fuse panel. There's a junction back there. It needs fuses. It doesn't have them.
What goes here?
I don't know.
There's a little hole next to the...
It's probably an old fuel gauge or something like that from back in the day. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The mahogany the mahogany could come back. I'm going to take it all off and figure out if it's rotted out. And
it's some sad looking mahogany.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I'll tell you.
It's pretty beat. But if it's not rotted, it'll come back. If it is
this mahogany what I'm sitting on?
Yeah.
It looks awful.
It's just weathered.
Oh.
Yeah, like me. Do I look awful?
No, baby, you don't look awful.
So yeah, that's his whaler. It's kind of fun.
Yay!
And it's a real bummer that like they don't make these things anymore because people love them. And I realized why people love the 13 and the 15.
Why?
It doesn't matter how tall you are to drive it. So if you're a little kid, you don't have to like. You're not trying to see
adjustment. You don't have to see over anything.
Not trying to see over the center console.
Right.
You just sit.
How far your knees are up to your armpits.
Yeah, you're just sitting down in the thing. So I think that's a noteworthy observation. Like you could be like a 9-year-old who wouldn't be able to see over the center console of like the grown-up boat, but when you're in this thing, you're just sitting down in it, and that doesn't matter.
And it's all open.
Yeah, right. Which Walker likes because you can take your friends because it's all open. People can sort of sprawl around.
Do people put canvas on these things? Well, I know Anna has like the clamshell on the front of hers.
Yeah, she has an old 16.7 Nauset, which is the same as SK, the one we had.
As SK was.
Yeah. Yeah, you could put a bimini on this. Yeah. Look at you thinking about it. All right, well, that's the whaler.
Okay.
And from Boston Whalers, we're going to Bill and Jack's.
Yay!
Our second sponsor today. We're very grateful to our sponsors, Distinctive Decorating.
Second sponsor.
And our second sponsor of today's show is Bill and Jack's.
Escape to the Thousand Islands and discover Bill and Jack's Marina, your ideal cottage retreat for fishing enthusiasts. Are you ready to reel in an unforgettable adventure? Discover our charming, fully furnished and equipped cottages nestled in the heart of picturesque Fisher's Landing, where pristine waters and stunning scenery await you. Enjoy direct access to some of the best fishing spots on the St. Lawrence River, with abundant perch, bass, pike, muskie, walleye, you name it, just steps from your door. Year after year, the St. Lawrence River demonstrates its status as a premier fishing destination in the country by hosting professional big payout fishing tournaments. Come fish with the pros, whether you're a seasoned angler or a beginner. Our river provides the perfect playground. Bill and Jack's will also assist with all your fishing needs. Gas, ice, fishing license? No problem. We got you. We can also arrange fishing guides upon request. Bring the whole family to Bill and Jack's Cottages. In addition to fishing, enjoy nearby attractions like Bolt Castle, Rock Island State Park, go-karts, mini golf, charming local shops, and more. Don't miss out on the ultimate fishing retreat. Reserve your cottage for 2025 now and get ready for an unforgettable getaway filled with adventure and relaxation. Visit us at billandjacks.com or call 315-686-3592. Again, that's 315-686-3592 to secure your spot in fishing paradise. This ad was brought to you by the letter P.
Nice work. Well done. Host read ad. Bam, boom, done. Thank you very much, Bill and Jack's, for sponsoring the Bodie Show.
Bill and Jack's has a special place in my heart.
Yeah, it does. And I would encourage, like, if you're a no frills kind of person, Bill and Jack's is the place for you. And I don't mean that in that it's like crappy. It's just like, it's a really old school waterfront fishing cottage. You got a screened-in porch with a view of the bay. You got gas dock right out front. Bring your boat, tie it up. There's a boat ramp.
Places to fillet your fish.
Yep, places to fillet your fish. There's a boat ramp, a really good boat ramp now, right around the corner from it.
Right. It used to be janky. Now it's really awesome.
There's great parking that comes with all this, and really good people who are good friends of ours.
Correct.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Bill and Jack's, for sponsoring the Bodie Show.
Thank you, Bill and Jack's.
All right, guess what?
Chicken butt.
It's the boat of the week. stable or sleek. Check out that vessel, baby, isn't she sweet? It's the boat of the week, the boat of the week. Ooh, how I love me, the boat of the week. Da 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 da. Hey, yeah, let's check out the boat of the week.
That is still awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Like whenever I hear it, it makes me so happy. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. And I'm like halfway through setting up the Kickstarter that's going to hopefully raise enough money for us to make a Boaty Show album for summer of 2025. Yeah. I got to get back to that. But first boat of the week, straight out of Maine from Brooklyn Boatyard, John Maxwell. This boat is called Uncle Roy, a 1929 Stevens Brothers trunk cabin cruiser, 34 feet.
What's a trunk cabin? Is there like a definition of that?
I don't know. Trunk cabin cruiser. I don't know. I mean, it's so I'll just describe it. So
It's pretty.
Wood boat, black hull, and it's a power boat. Let's start up at the bow. So there's a long bowsprit with an anchor roller up front, pretty plumb, straight up and down stem, which is the part of the bow that cuts through the water. The shear line, which is where the sides of the hull turn the corner to the deck. That shear line sweeps just gently from the bow all the way to the stern. It's not like swoopy. It's not, really anything other than just a nice smooth curve. And it's got a black painted hull. It has like relatively narrow planks. So you see these really pretty seams for each of the planks in the hull. And then on deck, it has a white roofed cabin that has varnished sides with a series of round portholes down the side, a square porthole up front. There's little, really pretty, like triangular gable end, two panel skylights on top of the white cabin. And then up pops a really pretty pilot house with 3 fold out windows across the front in the windshield, 2 fold out windows down the side, and another, white roof, white canvas roof, probably, or maybe Dynel. And, the roof stretches back a little bit past the windows, and then there's an upright support. And it looks like there's a nice bench seat back there.
Is this the only picture?
No. We'll look at some more.
Good. I want to start.
Oh, here's a picture from the stern.
I want to start by saying that I really like the contrast between the dark hull and the...
It's black, right?
Black or midnight blue. It's hard to tell.
I don't think it's
in
blue.
This light. And the contrast between that and the really lovely pineish, like soft wood.
Yeah, the varnished wood.
Yeah.
Right. And the sort of the white cream colored decks are pretty. So it's called Uncle Roy. It's in Solomons, Maryland. Now we're looking at a picture from the stern. This thing's got some really sweet tumble home. Instead of like a fully rounded curve, it's like a really tight round curve at the bottom of the transom, the back of the boat, and that curve kind of straightens out up toward the top. Oh, it's good.
Is this the engine box?
I think so. That could be a seat.
I don't think I've ever seen a rounded swim platform like that.
Yeah.
Looks like that swim platform was designed specifically for this boat, perhaps.
Yeah.
And it fits so nicely down at the exact right spot on the tumble home.
Yeah. So instead of a square, like rectangular swim platform coming off the back, this is like an ellipse, like a half moon swim platform.
Yeah, it's really neat.
That curves, so it curves out from the sides, kind of where the curve of the tumble home is the most pronounced. It curves out from that and around and back. All right, let's read about Uncle Roy.
You skipping over the other pictures?
Do you want to see some more pictures? All right. Here's the front. It's got all kinds of wood in the cabin and the interior. It's got a V-berth down below with nice, white painted interior. A mix of white painted and some
very pristine V-berth.
Yeah, a mix of white painted interior and
wood,
varnished wood. Blue cushions in the V-berth. Oh, that's cool. A couple of pilot berths, which are no, actually, those aren't pilot berths. Those are looks Looks like it's got a fold down.
All right, you can go
dining room
down
table.
to the description now if you want. We don't have to look at all the pictures, but
okay. Well, you wanted to look at more
I know,
pictures.
I did.
All right, fine.
I did.
Every painting or sculpture starts out with a few simple lines on paper, canvas, wood, or stone by their creators, who then, through a lifetime of experience, raw talent, and an embrace of the future, produce what everyone agrees to be a masterpiece. Such is the story of Uncle Roy. When first acquired by her current owner, this 1929 Stevens Brothers 34 was considered to be beyond repair. But beneath the rotting wood and flaking paint, he could see those few simple lines that would serve as the basis for the masterpiece that is Uncle Roy. In 2017, what would become...
Jesus.
What?
I'm looking at the asking price.
Listen, you can't put a price on something like this.
Was this work done at the Brooklyn Boat Track?
You gotta wait. I gotta read it.
Oh, shit.
What would become Uncle Roy was trucked to the Brooklyn main shop of boat builder Eric Dow, where over the course of almost 2 years, the boat was taken down to its bare bones, then painstakingly restored to the highest standards of traditional wood boat construction and brought into the future with thoughtful design improvements and state-of-the-art equipment, all while retaining the look and feel of a classic motor yacht that would be equally at home back in 1929, or into the future another lifetime from now. For a sale at a fraction of restoration costs, Uncle Roy offers her next stewards a truly one-of-a-kind boat of classic aesthetic with modern operational systems that will turn heads at every port of call. So, interestingly, as I looked through those pictures, I was seeing 1929 throughout. So the restoration hid all kinds of stuff. Like, oh, geez, there's a lot of stuff here.
Well, really, let's just talk about how pretty it is. I mean,
okay.
We need to know what all that stuff
No,
is.
I was just trying to see like all the modern stuff that they put in. And like I'm scrolling down through a long list of all kinds of things. So
how many feet?
34.
Oh, that's big. It didn't look that big.
Yeah.
That's like the same size as I'm on Poppy's boat, right?
There's
a 36.
There's a 36, but theirs is a very beamy, very tall monk. But 2018 Yanmar, man, scrolling down, like it's got all kinds of systems going on here. It's got a hydraulic steering. It's got bow thruster, trim tabs. All kinds of real updated.
I think Patrick Murphy needs this boat.
Yeah. Patrick Murphy needs most boats. We haven't met a boat yet.
Patrick, if you're listening.
That Patrick didn't need.
Uncle Roy's for you.
Uncle Roy. He loved.
You could take us all out cruising.
It
would be awesome.
Yeah. He saw the listings that this is included in, and there was another one called Sanderling that he really liked. But
so pretty.
It's Uncle Roy. All right, cool boat. For sale via Brooklyn Boatyard Brokerage. Next, from Captain David.
Hey, Captain David. Nice to see you back.
1960s Carousel International Chris Craft style boat children's ride.
What the hell?
Oh, it sold. What's today? The 17th.
The 17th.
It sold yesterday for $36,000. So
what?
You know how
like,
outside
of a supermarket, like you put the little quarters in and it like moves?
Yeah. Except this is a little.
It's so cool. It's a Chris Craft boat.
Yeah, like a little Chris Craft runabout. Single cockpit, all the classic lines.
The cockpit reminds me of that boat that they took us out in from the boat museum at the Canadian boat place that we went to over the summer. What was that called?
The Thousand Islands Boat Museum in Canada.
Canadian boat place. You know, that place, that Canadian
boat place. Yeah, so
right,
like outside the Toys R Us, you could ride on, a giraffe. You could ride on, a car.
That's super cool.
Or you could ride in
I wonder what he's up to.
a little Chris Craft runabout that would go back and forth. This children's ride is said to have been manufactured by the Carousel International Corporation of St. Louis, Missouri in the late 1960s in the style of a Chris Craft runabout. And it was later acquired and refurbished by Big Boy Toys of Oklahoma in 2024. The ride features cherry wood style fiberglass bodywork over a matching base, and motion is provided by a coin-operated electric motor. Additional equipment includes chrome cleats, faux exhaust outlets, navigation light assemblies, and trim, as well as a custom windscreen, a 3-spoke steering wheel, an American flag ensign, and a speaker system that plays simulated engine noises. This Chris Craft style children's ride was purchased by the seller in 24 and is now offered at no reserve in Seekonk, Massachusetts with a bill of sale. It sold yesterday for $36,000. This thing is really freaking cool.
Wow.
Yeah. And then there's a bunch of history about Chris Craft.
How do we even compare this Boat of the Week submission to the previous Boat of the Week submission? They are so different. They are not even the same thing, really.
Typically, we have, anytime there was something
categories?
Yeah, we introduce a new category. So both submitters this week are going to win Boat of the Week because
we've never had a children's ride boat of the week
submission
in the form of a boat, in particularly a Chris Craft beautiful boat like this one.
Right. So, Captain David, you win the children's ride category of the boat of the week.
Yay, Captain David.
Okay. Now we're going to have to really debate and deliberate next as to whether or not John wins the...
What category is Uncle Roy?
Just a regular powerboat category.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, we can make up a new category if you want. You want to make up a new category? That's not a no.
No. The super sweet boat category? No, because there's so many super sweet boats out there. That's too big a category. It's too big.
Super sweet. All right. John, you win the super sweet boat category, boat of the week.
It's the boat of the week, stable and sleek. Check out that vessel, baby, isn't she sweet? It's the boat of the week, the boat of the week. Ooh, how I love me, the boat of the week.
There we go. There you go. Sing it. Sing it, Enforcer of the Year. All right,
we got to wrap.
That was a good episode, and this is about as boaty as you can get in December. I went for
We are in a boat
that I took out on
water
on the Schuylkill River in 25-degree December 14th or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Temperatures, and ran it around and came to the conclusion that I was wrong about whalers. Yeah.
Wow.
And on that note, we are out.
Yo ho ho, that's it for the boating show. Back the cooler, grab the lines, let's go, go, go. Yo ho ho ho.
That's it for the Bodie Show.
I keep thinking I'm forgetting stuff because I probably am. I will.
Because you're old.
You're old. Shut up.
You can always bring it back next week, babe.
Yeah. I will say that we just recorded this whole episode, maybe if my phone didn't run out of juice and or space, onto videos, and I'm going to try and put it up on YouTube so you can see us sitting in the whaler making a Bodie show.
Dance into the Bodie Show
Yeah,
music.
chair dancing, the Bodie Show music. But thanks everybody for listening. Please reach out, be in touch, and hang in there for the winter. It's going to be spring before we know it.
It's almost winter solstice.
Yeah, summer solstice coming up this Saturday, shortest day of the year.
Winter solstice.
Yeah, whoops. Winter solstice coming up this Saturday, the 21st or 22nd or something like that. All right, we are out.